inspired by something somebody else says,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you just really live that shit to the point that like it just flow through you,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And a lot of the people, I'm trying to think of all of the guests, but majority of the ones that like I can think of off top, like they really live it. I think it's, you know, very impactful for like even like for yourself or the people that's just gonna watch the
Mm-hmm.
interviews to like be able to absorb this information, you know what I mean? Or just this quarantine time period, you know.
What up, though? I'm back. Were you surprised? You shouldn't be, because I'm here every day, 7 p.m. on the dot. Um, Even when, scheduling happens and some of the guests may not arrive, but it's okay. Because we're going to still talk. We're still going to have a 30-minute conversation today. We're still going to have a 30-minute inspiring conversation today. I love, I've been really liking the fact that I get to talk to somebody new every day. Um, Even if people don't show up, it's been so valuable to me to talk to people and pick their brain and ask them questions that, I feel like would be really insightful, not just for me, but for other people as well. And so today, I'm going to bring my man T Walker back on the Bliss Talk so we can recap and talk about some of our favorite conversations from the past 2 weeks. Um, he's done an amazing job as far as keeping us scheduled and keeping us, having conversations with some of the most hardworking and driven people within the community. Um, I talked to Zyquanza, I talked to Sid, I talked to a whole lot of people. Like, if you think about it, for 2 weeks, that's 14 different people that I talked to. I talked to Hazard the other day. I talked to Ron. I talked to, the list goes on. I can't even remember all the names. I wish I could. But I feel like I have a wealth of knowledge now and a wealth of insight as far as how is our community doing? How is you know, our artists, our entrepreneurs, how are they getting along during the quarantine, and also how do they get along, period. So, T, you ready? Let's get this thing started today. Waiting for your request. Too cool. Hey, sweetie. How you doing? Too cool. You have such a beautiful freaking voice. I love it. I remember the first day I heard you sing, I was like, oh my gosh. But just meeting your presence is so humble, and I love spirits like that, humble spirits, but just could blow the house down if they wanted to. How have you been? I hope you stay a little while. Me, I've just been kicking it, talking to a couple of entrepreneurs in the surrounding community. Some of them are not even in. Hey,
What's happening? You should definitely interview Too Cool Tiff.
I know. I was just saying she has one of the sweetest sounds I've ever heard. And then her presence on top of that is just amazing.
I think
Amazing.
that would be dope.
It would be dope. How you been doing, man?
I'm all good, just staying active. How about yourself?
You know, same, same thing. Every
For
day
sure.
to talk to somebody new has been an amazing experience.
Yeah,
But
how has that been? You know what I mean? Talking to all these new groups of people.
uh, man, the insight that I'm getting, and I really like, since I've never met them before, I'll go
Hmm.
on their page and just, if I have questions about something that they post, like I have the actual opportunity to ask them questions without being weird.
Right.
Because this is the setting for that.
Who's
And
been some of your favorite guests?
oh man, the one of my favorite guests was Zyquanza, and actually Dante agreed with that one too. I don't
Okay.
know what it was. Her energy was really, you know, awesome. She sold out of her product,
Hmm.
and she's at a beginner stage, but but still has done so much. That's one of the most inspiring stories
Yeah, she
to,
does a lot.
to hear. What else does she do?
Well, initially she was like making clothing,
Hmm.
so I mean, if you go on her page, like she does all types of clothing. Like I did some modeling for it one year. She was doing like these sweaters,
Hmm.
um, these ninja style hoodies.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's a whole lot, and it always is interesting, like what people went to school for versus what they really do, because what she
Right.
went to school for is not even that.
Yeah.
But I mean, but we're all creative in some type of way, you know what I mean? So being able to tap in that, and it may be even starting as a release or just something that we have to do and turning it into like a career and a passion, like I
Right.
think that's super cool. But yeah, she's a super dope creative.
I thought what was interesting about Zyquanza was that when I asked her, who do you have that's working with you? Who's your team? Like who's doing this? How do you manufacture your product? And she
Hmm.
told me that it was me. When she said that, I about hit the floor. I was like you by yourself, for real, for real. That's
Yeah,
crazy to me. That's really
yeah, she
crazy.
gets at it.
Yes. And so I got to the very last question that I had for her was, um, so I've been dying to get some insight on this particular concept. Do you have what you need? Like when you ask yourself, like when you get
Hmm.
ready to embark on a journey to creating something or establishing something, do you have all that you need? Because I feel like the mindset, some people struggle with that bigger picture without um, feeling like they have or they, well, I can't do it because I would need this, I would need that.
Right.
And so with her, she's doing it all by herself. So
Hmm.
it was the perfect person to ask that question to. Did you see that?
I didn't see I haven't actually had an opportunity to see all of. I think the only one I saw the full was Maine said, Jewel. I saw the beginning of the one with Kwanzaa. Um, and yeah, that's it. I haven't even had an opportunity to run through all of them yet, but I'm looking forward to seeing how some of these other conversations go as well. I was hoping you would get to chop it up with Derek today.
Yeah.
Um, Miss Oregon tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting. Have you had a chance to like research her stuff
Miss
yet?
Oregon. I normally do my research like the same day,
Okay.
because it gives me a clear mind to go in and do it. But because there's a lot of people on their list, so I give myself
Yeah.
time in between to refresh and all that good stuff. But um, let's see who else said that was a great conversation as well.
Yeah, that looked like a fun conversation.
It was fun. Remember when I was asking you to? I think I was asking people about their experiences within like in the education zone, like
Hmm.
and kids and stuff like that. And he dropped the gem that was so cool to me. He was like, first of all, when I walk in there, I look just like them. And I was like, you know what? That's very true. Like kids, like they would gravitate towards someone who comes in looking just like them rather than someone all dressed up like super professional and stuff like that. Because
Right.
kids, they'll have their little side jokes, a little sneak disses and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just about what they can relate and connect
Mhm.
to.
Right.
I mean, me and my brother, we come in there, we got locks. We come
Yeah.
in there with locks. We ain't suit and tied up. We got on one of our shirts,
Hmm.
whatever the case may be. So for them, it's about like connectivity and understanding that, like, okay, I
Right.
can be me and still be in that space. Like I can be in that position. I can be a mentor. I can be an educator. It's not a specific look, it's not a stereotypical look to everything. So I mean that we have the opportunity to rewire some of these brain, thoughts. I mean some of these things that's going on. So
Yeah.
I mean that's a powerful thing. I mean imagery is one of the important pieces too.
Hmm.
Like, why, I mean, some of the things we do, go where they go, and I'm gonna just some of these like people can't get into all of these spaces, but I mean, we black males, and there's not many black males in the school,
Mm-hmm.
so it's like, all right, they get an opportunity to bring some black males in the school. We need the feminine energy, but we need the balance,
Right.
and then
Absolutely.
sometimes people that just speak their language,
Yeah.
you know.
I thought that was really cool how he was able to connect with them, and he said that he never even had an issue. Like he was like, I don't. That's never been. I think that's interesting too. Something
Hmm.
that's insecurity for someone else maybe has never been an insecurity for someone else, and so um, you wouldn't know like how to answer a question like that. Does that make sense? Because you never been in that position where
Yeah.
you felt a certain way. So I think that's
Hmm.
interesting. And then Ashani Hamilton. I wanted,
Yeah, that was
am I saying
yesterday,
his
right?
name? Yeah, Jamaican jumper.
Ashani.
He was definitely
Yeah.
different. He was
Yeah, I
definitely
know the energy was, what I'm saying, very high.
It was. It was super high. But I knew it was coming though. I knew it was coming because it
Hmm.
said he was a motivational speaker. And then, of course, I looked through all of his videos and stuff like that. And I'm like, motivational speaker. I just know he's going to have some like beautiful words to say and stuff that's going to click. And he did. I like the way he puts the fact that people who are organizers or allow, you know, or build platforms for people, they are, he says something about igniting the heaven inside of them.
Hmm.
Have you ever heard him say that?
Nah, I mean, he says a lot of things, like, I mean, so I can definitely hear him saying that, I mean, and I get what he's saying.
Yeah.
For real.
He said something about igniting the heaven inside of them because when you perform or when you're speaking your poetry or you're doing your craft, you're healing yourself, you know?
Hmm.
And so I thought that was really dope. And then how he explained he's a farmer, and so agriculture has been a true symbolization of manifestation for him. And so he's going to write a book about that because he was like, when you think about it, when you are a farmer, you're planting the seed,
Hmm.
and then you don't even get to see it grow, but it is growing. And then he was
Right.
like, the food that you eat, that's your energy. And I was
Hmm.
like, that's a really dope way of looking at it.
Hmm.
So when you talk to people and they have different insight or different perspectives, it's been really, really cool.
Yeah, I mean, and it's sort of like traveling, you know what I mean? Except in that space, it's just more of a mental travel because you
Mm-hmm.
communicating with people that have experienced all different types of walks of
Mm-hmm.
life,
Right.
or have been in different places, or have eaten different foods. Like his experiences are the very reason why he can say something. Some of the things that all no 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 all of the things that he says, his
Mm-hmm.
experiences. Like, I mean, people, sometimes you get inspired by something somebody else says.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you just really live that shit to the point that like it just flow through you,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of the people, I'm trying to think of all of the guests, but majority of the ones that like I can think of off top, like they really live it,
Yeah.
so it's like it's you know what I mean, they can come with these things. Kwanzaa can let you know, like, I do this dolo, you know what I mean? But and she really lived that, and like,
Mm-hmm.
and been doing it for years, you know what I mean? He said has been walking in his walk. You know what I'm saying? I think our organization has been incorporated maybe like a 2 months, you know what I'm saying, longer than his, but he really lived this,
Mm-hmm.
like it's crazy. So I think it's, very impactful for like even like for yourself or the people that's just gonna watch the
Mm-hmm.
interviews to like be able to absorb this information, you know what I mean? Or just this quarantine time period, Um, because you know what I mean, my brother's been interviewing people from Africa,
Right.
connecting with hip hop legends. We've been doing the Heart Gallery, online, so we've been bringing people from different places, and from different walks of life. Of course, I tour and travel all over the place,
Right.
so, and I connect with artists. So
Mm-hmm.
like it's just though we have this this technology that allows us to like maintain those connections and even build on them for real.
Let's see, who else? Maine. So I have to ask you this. How did
Hmm.
you feel about Maine's explanation as to why he doesn't get afraid on stage or how he keeps his composure on stage? Did you see that clip? I posted it on Instagram.
Yeah, I mean, I,
Oh, you froze. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Go out and come back in. I can't hear you. We'll be right back, guys. Hello? Okay. I think he's gonna come back in. What's up, guys? I appreciate y'all coming in and joining Bliss Talk today. We're pretty much recapping on the other Bliss Talks. I want to highlight some of my favorite moments with the executive producer T Walker tonight. So you guys can kind of get a glimpse on some of these conversations and why they were so dope and why you should go check it out. Hey, you're back.
yeah,
Okay, so we were talking about Maine.
yeah, I like this explanation. I mean,
Oh, you froze up again. Are you back?
he out here, you know what I mean, connecting with am I good?
Yeah, you good now.
Okay, yeah, you know what I mean? So like man ain't been around for a minute, so I mean he done been around all the stars. So at this point, even if that was once a thing, it's probably no longer a thing, and we all are just normal human people, that what I
Yeah.
mean, have similar experiences, do some of the same things. So yeah, I mean I love this explanation. I really dig it. I didn't get to see.
That had me cracking up. He was like, for Mayweather, for example. I
Right,
mean,
can't even read.
that man
Yeah,
said
Main's a
he was
character. I mean, but that's my guy. I mean, for those very reasons, he gonna keep it all the way Maine. Ain't no playing around with it.
right. Exactly. I had a really dope conversation with him too. Let's see who else. My girl,
You
Poets for
had
Dinner. Yo, she
who?
Poets for Dinner.
Oh, Grace.
Grace, yes.
Yeah,
Her comment about, you're gonna be the villain in somebody's story really spoke volumes to me
yeah,
because, you know, it's very difficult to be a leader and but also have that balance where you don't want to come off wrong to people, because
right.
I know for as a woman, anything and she said this in the interview too. Anything that I say to you, or if I ask you to do something, I'm gonna sound like a bitch. Like point blank period. I'm gonna sound like I'm being too bossy or being too that, and it's a different respect. But when she said that you're going to be the villain in somebody's story at the end of the day, but the bottom line is that you got the job done, didn't you? That spoke volumes to me. I was like, oh my goodness, that's the key.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, and I
Mhm.
don't know if you even in the sports and are watching the Last Dance documentary, about Jordan, but they did have, some people were trying to, go over the topic of was he a bully or was he
Mhm.
just a good leader, and connect with what Grace said. You're gonna be the villain in somebody's story,
Right.
So he did some things that leaders need to do to push his team to go further.
Right.
Did he cross the line sometimes? For sure, but you're gonna be the villain in somebody's story,
Yeah.
Somebody might get punched, somebody might, not like the words that you said. You're gonna be the
Mhm.
villain in somebody's story. It is what it is. Did you get the job done at the end of the day? Now, I mean, you can't do it at the detriment of, your team and that of your soul, you
Right.
know. And I don't think any of those were to the detriment of that. We see the proof.
Yeah, absolutely. We definitely do. I'm trying to think of anybody else that you're curious as to have a conversation with this week.
I mean, the only other person that's left is for this week is Miss Oregon. You know, that's who you got tomorrow, and then next week, Brianna, who's an amazing poet. I'm
Hmm.
trying to think because I know I got you booked for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I just don't remember all for who. Um, I
I'm
do
talking
remember
about past
Brianna is Tuesday.
conversations that we already.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You had Ashley Connors,
Ashley,
Akina Lewis,
Akina Lewis.
um,
Akina, she's the poet.
yeah, the poet. My inside thoughts of poetry.
Ah, I liked her too. I liked her.
Yeah.
I told her she has a message, and I wanted to know. I'm trying to make sure that I'm thinking right about the right person.
Hmm.
Akina is she the light skinned one or the?
Nah, I'm trying to
the
remember who might have been that person you thinking of, but nah, that wasn't
it's
her.
been so many. It's been so many
Yeah, I have to look
coincidences.
back at my calendar. My iPad is charging because I'm actually doing a show in like 20 minutes.
Okay,
But
got. But
yeah, I don't,
I think Akina, she's the one who's the writer. She's also a
yeah,
poet,
she's a
and
writer.
she
Hmm.
and she's actually an educator as well. And one of
Yeah,
the things that I liked from her was she was saying, ask yourself what you're running from. And I was like, "Ooh, that's a bar. What are you running from when you're having that moment where you need inspiration or something like that?" I thought that
hmm,
was a real bar.
yeah,
And I
that's
liked the fact that she was talking about writing, like as far as like journal entries. She says when she
hmm,
writes, like it's almost like a journal entry, which I thought was interesting because it it actually made me think about writing less of like a whole project that you have to have ready, but taking it day by day, time managing it, like waking
hmm.
up and just write you a few pages and then get back to it the next day. How was your writing process
Yeah,
coming along, by the way? You're writing too, right?
yeah. Well, I've just been doing a lot of editing and shifting stuff around because I had like out of my 1,000 notes, I had like 700 different pieces and poems to like play with.
Mm-hmm.
I narrowed it down to about 70.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm in my final selection of 50,
Mm.
because I don't want to put all 50. And I don't know, part of it is just like some of it were like incomplete thoughts or starts of poems and poems that were just lost.
Mm.
So part of even with this is just like releasing them,
Yes.
not just the releasing them in the fact of like putting it out, but releasing them as in just letting it go, getting it the hell out my notes.
Right.
And you know what I mean, like that. So yeah, just narrowing it down. Some of them, and like I actually part of the inspiration was reading Akina's book.
Mm.
I read it on the plane to Portland,
Okay.
and like she had some actually really short pieces in there. So when I was going back through my notes, I got like joints that's like 4 lines, 6 lines, 8 lines. I had short, I guess, journal entries,
Yeah.
and I was like, all right, I'm gonna use some of these. And I've got like, so even with the ones that I put out, I got a ton more. You know what I mean?
Mm.
That's just sitting and waiting, but I'm also curious as to how they read because some of them are gonna be like lyrics from songs.
True.
So I'm curious to how like lyrics read to people
Yeah.
versus when they hear it, how do they absorb it in that way? So I'm trying to find my different structures and all that with that. But yeah, I'm ready to go ahead and put it out there. I'm pretty much done. I'm just in the final stages of editing. Um, my intro was the hardest to write because it's like so much stuff you want to put into it. And you feel like you want to give people the summary of this entire thing, but then it's like, nah, just give them enough and then let them digest it from there.
That's gonna be dope, T. That's gonna be dope, bruh. I can't wait for
Yeah,
it. This will be your first book, right?
it'll be the first one.
It'll be the first one. That's what's up. I'm thinking about having a book that we can put on the Bliss Talk website. You know,
Hmm.
um, I'm thinking of a concept talking about, time management, things of that nature. And I have a name for it, but I don't release the name for it yet.
Hold on to it.
I'm gonna hold on to it. But
Yeah,
I want it to be I don't want it to be like a really long book or something like that, but I want it to be something very absorbable, very accessible.
yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to find some good in here.
No, you good. What else should we chop it up about? We're coming up at 7:30, so we can close this thing out. I know you got something to do in 20 minutes, so
Yeah, kicks off at 7:45. I got a show with did you go to Winterville with me and do the show with Rose? Or maybe you didn't. I know Ivory Child went with me one time and then
hmm
Maine.
hmm
But yeah, she's doing her virtual poetry and spoken word show.
that's what's up.
Um so yeah, I'm one of tonight's features, so we about to get it in here shortly from 8 to 10 o'clock. We all tapping in at 7:45.
Get it then. Good luck with that. And anybody
No
in here
doubt,
go
no doubt.
with that, send us the link.
Yeah, it's a couple people. Well, yeah, I got the flyer up, and I think she's still, she's doing $3 entry.
Okay.
Uh, but yeah, and I've just been looking at a bunch of different like live shows, just seeing how they run, of course, because we've been doing ours via Instagram,
hmm
and I want to do something like on the Zoom, just try it out. But I'm building live streaming on my website, so I ain't even gonna spill it all now. I'm just gonna have a live experience coming directly from my website here soon.
Oh snap! I can't wait for that. So
Yeah, it's gonna be really dope.
right. I just want to say thank you, brother. Like, I really appreciate you. And I love the way Bliss Talk has turned out. The page and everything looks beautiful. And let's keep rocking. Let's keep doing this thing.
Yeah, no doubt. We're gonna turn it up a notch, and like I know some of these guests coming up, it's gonna be pretty interesting. I still got some other people to reach out to, and some people I'm waiting to hear from. What's a major guest that you want to tap into though? What's somebody you want to manifest into Bliss Talk?
A major guest. Oh, wow. I really want to get Gerard up here. He's been on my list, but he's camera shy right now. So Lavinia, I want to talk to her. Um,
Okay.
let's see who else. I want to get some of the people that we sat down with up for 30 minutes. And I'm kind of
Hmm.
digging this concept too. It's been a lot less stressful
I can imagine.
than the setup. But we'll see what happens. We scheduled for a meeting anyway to see what else we can come up with as far as concepts. I said not schedule, but do for one.
Hmm.
So we'll see
Right.
what.
For sure. Yeah, it's many more things to come.
Right. All right. Well, thank y'all for joining us today. Y'all can go check out Bliss Talk. You can actually see this one because this one is going to lay out some of the highlights that me and T Walker enjoyed about the previous talks that we've had within the past 2 weeks. They're right there in my IGTV. And then also, I want you guys to check out the blisstalk.life website. On there, you'll be
Yeah,
able to
yeah.
check out our mission statements, a couple of our very beginning episodes that we've had. And we've just been growing. And I want to thank everyone who has already took a look at that stuff. But we here with it.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, you enjoy your show. Good luck with everything.
No doubt. Appreciate you. It's gonna be a killer.
Yes, it's gonna be a killer.
All right.
All right, bye.
Peace.